The Patriot Oasis says, holy crap, Mike Johnson lays it all out when asked if he would bring back the House to vote on another continuing resolution. We have a CR that's been sitting over there since September 19th. Look, I think Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are irredeemable at this point. Again, just remember, like, they keep trying to blame the Democrats for the shutdown, but they control all three branches of government. And here's the thing about governing. Governing is not, I get my way all the time and you get nothing. Governing is, we need to figure out what is best for all the people, so we need to work together to do that thing.
Oh, whoa.
Sylvie, hold on. I gotta correct some stupid fucking shit in my chat right now. From Axo and
Gadget Hackwrench in that red dress.
From Axo, y'all need to learn about subcultures. Axo, I grew up when emo became a thing. Don't test me. I grew up in the generation where that became a thing.
Yeah, but you grew up in the Pensacola Bible Academy.
And then I went to a public school also afterwards. Point being, I am making a joke that was made about emo subculture by goths when I was growing up. I am literally taking the piss.
Okay. I'm just picturing the author of the Harry Potter fanfic called My Immortal. Like, stop flaming, haters.
Axo says, then you have no excuse again. So you understand that, like, so goth, emo, and scene cultures all had people who very, very hardline adhered to their aesthetics, to their music, to everything, and would take the piss out at each other in so doing. Like, that was a part of it. Well, you got the tism? Congratulations!
Yes. Welcome to the stream. You must be new here. Okay, they're all talking about Gadget Hackwrench in my chat now. I know who Gadget Hackwrench is.
Stoff says, I was in the scene kid gen. I was better.
I just did not know that she had a red dress. Like, I'm sure if I did a search for red dress, if it wasn't immediately not safe for work stuff, I would probably recognize the red dress. But I don't remember it offhand. But I do know who Gadget is. I was more of a Bianca boy myself from Rescue Rangers. No, not Rescue Rangers. Rescuers Down Under. And just the Rescuers, I guess. Rescuers Down Under was the second one, but I liked it better than the first one.
Said Sylvia Sisters didn't deny the boomer allegations. I'm not going to deny that I'm older. Like, I'm 33 or 34. I fucking forget. But point is, I am able to make jokes about a thing that literally happened as I was growing up. I will shake my fist at the children of this generation at this fucking point.
Yeah, people are telling me it's safe for work, but I'm still not Google image searching something, even if you guys say it's safe for work.
Fennec says, how do you forget how old you are? Give it time, Fennec.
Yeah, no, I forget how old I am all the damn time. I forget. You guys saw earlier on this stream, I don't know how old my fucking kids are. Rory is 16. I know that because they can drive a car now. And then the other two of mine I figure out because they're 2 years apart. So Ridley is 14 and Gavin is 12. And then there's the other two who are within 1 year of each other, but I don't remember what that year is. Anyway, moving on. The Persian says Jon Stewart makes around $25 million a year for The Daily Show. His staff makes $65,000 to $110,000 per year. If he likes communism so much, he should share his $1 million paycheck with his staff instead of pushing a pro-terrorist radical on New York City.
Is Jon Stewart a communist?
So here's the thing. He was. This was when he was interviewing Mamdani, and he was very friendly to him. So my thing is, yeah. Jon Stewart should be paid less, and his writers should be paid more, and his other staff. I agree. That doesn't mean that it's wrong to vote for Mamdani because sometimes entertainers get paid too much.
I don't know. Either way, like anytime somebody claims, if you like socialism so much, why don't you give all your money away? If you like communism so much, why don't you give all your money away? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we do not live in a world where you can live without money, and I'm also sorry that there are people who have career paths where they are able to make money. Like,
well, there's also...
It so doesn't fucking work.
My thing here is, like, we look at celebrities endorsing people or whatever. Let's just pretend for a moment that it's like, whatever. So Jon Stewart is on the left. I'm not going to name someone from the right, but let's just... Kid Rock, sure. Let's name someone from the right. Kid Rock is on the right.
Tucker Carlson?
Whatever. I don't care. So sure, Tucker Carlson, I guess, would be the better opposite for Jon Stewart. So Jon Stewart's on the left, Tucker Carlson's on the right. The people that Jon Stewart's telling you to vote for are going to tax Jon Stewart more and make your life easier as a result, as they use those tax dollars to do things like give you health care and pay for schools and things. The Tucker Carlsons are telling you to vote for people who are going to make Tucker Carlson's life easier and nobody else's. So even if, yes, it's hypocritical for Jon Stewart to advocate for a socialist, socialism's still better for people.
Also,
it's still worse for Jon Stewart than capitalism.
Also, it doesn't make any sense at all if you know what communism and socialism are. Because that's like saying, why would you want to be a communist when you live in a state? Boy, howdy, I don't have a fucking choice in that one, my guy, don't you think?
Yes, I was kind of conflating my terms. I know that there's nuance to it. But, like, that's kind of my point here, is that, like, if we're just going by what the celebrities are saying, what the overpaid celebrities are saying, one of them is saying, yes, I should have less money by paying higher taxes to help the less fortunate. Whereas the other is saying, fuck you, I want more money.
Speaking of fuck you, Jump Point, thank you for naming your points for an ooh, you fucking degenerate. And also Cyberchill with an ooh. And Nethercat with an ooh. All of you. Yep, you all got your shit.
This had the potential to be such a short episode.
It did. It really did. But I feel like part of the shortness of the episode is actually because of how exhausted I am.
I mean, I've been rushing through things as well. Oh, okay, this is fun. So Polymarket, the company that, like, takes wagers on who's going to win elections or whatever, say, breaking, Mamdani's odds collapse in New York City mayoral election. If he continues falling at the rate he has for the past 24 hours, Cuomo would be the projected winner. So he's lost 8 percentage points in his favorability or whatever. So he's now only 87% likely to win the election.
Better than not having a chance at winning the election.
Do you want the chaser?
Sure.
So this was posted on October 28th. So like the previous 24 hours, he dropped 8 percentage points down to 87%. And they're like, if this continues, Cuomo's going to win. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? This is just a chart that I can look up. So I looked up what today's numbers were. He went up another point to 88%. I was like, looks like that trend didn't continue. Huh. Was there any reason you thought it should continue, or was that just pulling it out of your ass?
A lot of it's going to be out of the ass. Right now, there's so much hate for Mamdani, and it all feels artificial. Mm-hmm. All of it feels artificial.
Yeah. Like, who fucking cares if he called his cousin his aunt? No, like, that is tan suit levels of scandal.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Republicans were honestly calling for Obama to be impeached over that?
I hear about it in hindsight, but I don't remember it happening.
Can you fucking imagine if Obama had done a third of the shit that Trump did? If Obama knocked down the East Wing of the White House, can you imagine the outrage that would be coming from the right? Even if it was for the exact same purpose.
I can imagine it because Republicans were convinced of it without it even happening. So if you remember, when Obama was president, we heard all kinds of shit about FEMA camps. We heard all kinds of shit about the military's being prepared to do something big. They're going to do something big.
I remember that was back when I had my libertarian leanings. I remember being convinced that Obama was going to open death camps with his, like, Obamacare was going to lead to death camps where the government is now deciding who gets to live and who gets to die.
Exactly. So when you say, like, can you imagine if he had done those things? Well, yes, I can, because we already lived in that reality. Because the Republicans were responding to that reality, whether it was true or not. Mm-hmm. They were responding to that version of events, irrespective of how true it was.
You groom an entire base to not pay attention to what actual reality is, and now they're completely disconnected from reality.
Pretty much.
Funny how that happens. Robbie Starbuck says, Jesus believed in teaching men how to fish, not continually giving them fish, right? That's a Republican ideal. I feel like we covered this before, but I also feel like we might not have because of the way it was in my folder.
Brigwin says, calling any woman you care about an aunt is a core part of black and brown culture. It's racist attack dressed up as fact-checking. So I'm gonna spin that a little bit differently, because I don't think it's a racist attack. What I think it is I think it is a default attack from a person who is racist which ends up coming out being the same fucking thing, honestly. But it's one of those things where if the person's core, if at their core they believe a fuck ton of like dumb racist shit, you're more likely to get that stuff out of their mouth, and they don't even think it's aimed at race. It might even be considered worse because it's so subconscious.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, which are you more afraid of? The person who legitimately hates you and your kind, or the person who doesn't feel like they hate you and your kind, but is so thoroughly convinced by propaganda about X, Y, and Z that leads to them always doing things that are to your detriment? Like, which one is more dangerous? I don't actually know.
Well, back to Mr. Starbuck. So he says, Jesus believed in teaching a man how to fish, not just continually giving them fish, right? That's a Republican ideal. Jesus is rather famous for giving away a lot of fish and not actually teaching anyone how to fish. Like, that's his thing. Like, he actually gets mad at people for following him around for free food instead of the messages that he's giving with the free food. But he continues to give them free food. It's not ever like, fuck you, go find your own fish. It's always, you need to be paying attention to the spiritual messages, but while you're here, I'm going to make sure your physical needs are taken care of.
Jesus, give a man a fish, and then give him another fish, and then multiply the fish and give a man another fish.
Yeah,
because
it was actually Confucius
fish,
that originally did that whole give a man a fish and he eats for a day, and teach a man a fish and he eats for life thing.
The thing is, though, people always misconstrue that. They always think that means you never should give a hand out, as if it's a dichotomy. You can either give a hand up or a hand out. No, you can do both.
You can give them a fish and teach them how to fish. And now you have made it so that they're not starving to death until they can be self-sufficient.
Correct.
That's the thing. Like, the thing that drives me nuts in all of this debate about whether or not illegals deserve health care or food stamps or whatever they're doing with the illegals, or like, no, man, these are just human beings. Human beings deserve food and health care.
I think human beings should be fed. I don't give a fuck.
I don't care what their papers say. I feel like they deserve to be treated like human beings with a base level of human dignity. I don't care if they're here legally or illegally. This is the one part of Atlas Shrugged. Well, not of Atlas Shrugged specifically, but of libertarian philosophy. The one part that I kind of agree with is they will tell you that borders are arbitrary. And so I'm like, yes. So crossing borders should not be the big ordeal that it is. Now, I would not go as far as the hardcore libertarians would go, where like it should just be anarchy, no checkpoints whatsoever. I'm okay with there being checkpoints and like certain amounts of controls, but like if somebody wants to move into Canada, I don't understand any of the arguments against allowing immigration, especially in countries like Canada and the United States, where the same people who are against immigration will turn around and tell you that we're not having enough babies. Like, okay, you know what a good way to solve that is? There are a bunch of countries that are having too many babies. We could take immigration from those countries, and now we've got enough people.
Or do what we've done with China before, just import babies.
Yeah,
who cares? It's a person. Why the fuck do I have to give a shit?
It's just a person who wants to live.
Why the fuck do I have to give a shit about the skin color of the person? Oh, it changes the demographics of the area, and that changes the politics downstream. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. All that's made up bullshit. People. Every single bit of that is made up bullshit.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I find myself agreeing with libertarians. It's all made up bullshit. It's all arbitrary. So why do we even bother policing it? I mean, like to an extent, like I'm okay with checkpoints. It's like a criminal actively fleeing the law, like someone who just murdered someone and is trying to run away to another country. It'd be nice if we had a system in place to like not allow those people to just escape. But that's an extreme minority case.
Ari, as he points out, that would be barbarism, not anarchy, and the word anarchy means something different to like 15 different ideologies. Look, I wholly understand the want for labels to be specific and for labels to be consistent, because it's really important for communication. I really do get it, but usually when somebody says the term anarchy in the streets, they are meaning barbarism. Like, that is what they are referring to. Understandably, anarchism as a concept is not that, but I digress.
Okay, moving on. Next tweet. Timmy Pool.
Oh boy,
Says,
he's
why do I
back.
work 16 hours a day and pay half of my income into... First off, I don't believe that he works 16 hours a day and pay half my income in taxes. I don't think that's his tax rate. So that people don't have to work, it makes no sense. Either mandate work for welfare recipients while they're in search of employment, or abolish the system and start over.
So
Counterpoint, rich people can afford to pay some money so that people who are less fortunate cannot starve.
And Sarah Chikorita points out they already fucking mandate that. Like, we already do that. It's a couple of systems. We have a system called means testing. That's one of the ways that we try to do that shit. Another system that we use is the one where if you are not looking for work and can't prove you're looking for work, then your benefits can get cut off. That little fun anxiety nugget that I've heard people deal with before. It's not just a you're not working, you get free money type of thing. There are some people who manage that situation, but usually that is not the case.
So when I lost my job at one of the hotels, I was fired over text message while I was on vacation. And the reason that they told me that I was fired is because I took an unauthorized vacation, even though they paid out my vacation pay. And my manager said, have a nice time, when I left on the last shift before my vacation. So I don't know what part of it was unauthorized. Like, I did all the paperwork and everything. But the guy in charge of the accounting there, he was refusing to issue my record of employment, which you need to collect unemployment benefits. And so eventually I emailed him with a link to the Canada Revenue Agency, that's our version of the IRS. I linked him to their article on what happens if you fail to issue a record of employment, which was like there's prison time and a up to $5,000 fine or something like that. And his response to that was to email me back and be like, oh, well, because you're being like this, I am changing the reason from your for you leaving from being laid off to you quit.
That's also illegal.
That is illegal. But like, if he had not put it explicitly in the email, that would have made it very difficult for me to actually collect unemployment benefits, because you're not allowed to quit your job and collect unemployment. The idea is you have to always be searching for work. We can't be paying you for nothing. So, you know, it was fairly easy for me because he explicitly said it in the email. I was able to just like forward the email to the unemployment office and be like, hey, I was laid off, but this guy's a jerk. And they were like, yeah, no, just, it's fine. We'll just make it go. And they didn't actually do anything about it, but I did get my benefits. But like, that's the kind of means testing we have here. And also, when you're on unemployment, you're allowed to work up to a certain number of hours, but then after that, they stop paying you. Yep. Now, I bring this up because the evidence has shown very much that like means testing and making things contingent on other things or whatever, they don't actually make it more effective in any way. Like, if you just hand poor people a wad of cash, it will be better for the economy than all this means testing bullshit. Mm-hmm. And like, it doesn't lower their willingness to work. Like, Canada actually had a universal basic income program in, I think it was the 70s. It was a pilot program that got canceled before it finished because the government changed. But the preliminary results showed that the only groups of people who saw a reduction in willingness to work were pregnant mothers and young people who were in school. So the only people who were less willing to work were people who arguably should not have to work as much. It's like you're going to school to get an even better job, or you're a pregnant mother, you're staying home to take care of a child. And
yeah.
like it, and when you just give a poor person $1, that dollar turns into something like it varies by country, but it goes anywhere from like $1.20 to $2.50, something like that. Like I'm pulling these numbers from memory, so they might be wrong.
About the
like
acceleration of currency.
So, the economic impact, like its impact on the GDP of the country that you're in. If you give a poor person $1, it turns into like $1.20 to $2.50 of economic impact. So, like, it is better for the economy, it's better for the country, it's better for the people if you just give poor people cash. No means testing. Will some people abuse the system? Probably. Will it be the majority of them? Absolutely not.
Robert Adset says that means testing generally makes things more expensive. Oftentimes it does.
Yeah, the amount of money that's wasted in trying to make sure these people, like, there are entire government departments that are dedicated to just like reviewing people's self-reports of how much they've worked for their unemployment benefits.
Just imagine how much easier it would be if we just didn't do that. Also, Wolforian, thank you for redeeming your points for an uwu again.
Yeah, so yeah, means testing and make it like even like SNAP benefits. Just give them cash. It doesn't have to be a SNAP card that can only be used in certain stores for certain items or whatever.
I ain't on food
cash would be
stamps.
better.
I ain't looking for a handout. I got me this SNAP card. That's what I use to pay for my groceries.
Yeah. Anyway, Timmy Boy is the last one, so we can end it here.
Oh, God, I've been waiting to end it for a long time.
Yeah, Cirrus is desperate to stop ooh-wooing all over the place. So, thank you so much for joining me. Remember, next Wednesday stream should be normal, but next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, I will be with Hemant Meta. I will be streaming to my main channel. I will probably also be streaming to The Watering Hole. And if Cirrus is with me, I'll stream to his channels too.
And fucking Jassa with an ooh-woo-woo. Again. Ooh-woo. Fucking Monster Clueless Expert as well with an ooh-woo.
And Olivia Williams for 279 says, even F.A. Hayek, famous libertarian, was for UBI. Yep. Not necessarily UBI. He had a like negative tax incentive thing where like if your income was below a certain amount, you would pay negative income tax. So essentially it worked out to being the same as UBI, is just like a weird income tax structure.
Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Sereth, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.